Hello, everybody, and welcome to Abundantly Purposeful. My name is Kristyn Cozad, and I'm a purpose coach and the owner of Illuminating Purpose. And this is my partner, Shelly Schell.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're so excited to be here again. I am a financial advisor and co-founder of a firm called Prism Financial Strategies, and excited to be with Kristyn in our Abundantly Purposeful segments where we get to talk with you all about life and money and finances and change and just anything really that's relevant to us ladies out there.
We're finding some interesting things along this path. We've only recorded about 3 episodes so far, and we're hearing from our editor, oh, you need to do this with your video resolution and this with your voice resolution. And really, we're just 2 women who love what we do and are friends and want to partner and want to put out a great message. And in approaching this YouTube channel, we're finding out all of these things. Shelly doesn't know or care what a hashtag is. We don't know what keywords are. We're trying to evolve and embrace all of this new stuff that we don't know, and we keep thinking we don't have time to figure out. But we care so much about our message that this is kind of a jumping off point for us. And so our topic today is basically, we're new here. So bear with us in all of this. We are completely unrehearsed. We just want to talk about what we do. But in this process, we could have gotten stopped so many times along the way, right, Shelly?
Yes. And, there's many times we get busy with our day, and Kristyn and I will have this time set aside to have our conversations and to record. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even set up my new microphone that the editor said I need. And it's 2 minutes. And I'm thinking, how does this thing even work? So, for me, my, in the hashtag, just being new to all this technology and the way things work, when it doesn't just automatically pop up and say, congratulations, you've done it right. I don't know what I'm doing. And, it's funny because as we talk about this person, this is really how it is in life in general when you're making changes, right? Like when anything new comes up. New with anything, as the reason we're even doing this conversation and on YouTube channel is because we talked about the fears around money or life changes and really the opportunities to integrate things. Well, that's change for people, right? So you and I are stretching ourselves. We're new here. I've never thought in a million years I'd be on a YouTube channel or putting myself out there on the social media, but here I am. And the point is we can all do it. We can do it together. And the more we collaborate and share with each other how to set up the microphones or how to hashtag, or how to have a relationship with money or have a purposeful life, the more we really get to create real change that's impactful in our lives and that feels good, and then we become masters of it.
Right. And I think it's part of the building of community also is, hey, these are the things that I'm not really strong in. These are the things that I'm learning as I go. And the value of still stepping into something when you don't have all the answers, when, thank God, we have a great editor who's telling us what we need to do. We'll figure out eventually how to do it so that it makes his job a little bit easier. But at the same time, there's all these unknowns. And if we were to wait until all of this is settled and we have this perfect package, then that's not going to get us very far very quickly. Is that right, Shelly?
That's true.
Stepping into those things, there will be things where you think, I don't know how to do this. Because of this, I can't move forward in my business or my financial life or my relationships. And that's just not the truth. It's just not how the world works out. And reframing what failure looks like or what the learning process looks like is so impactful for us to actually be in action. And I think that Shelly and I share that idea that in order to be in action, we have to acknowledge that fear. We let it be there. And at the same time, it doesn't get to run the show. So we're really here this year in a place of great action for us, where we're learning this process. It will be a mess at times. We will just be honest about that. There will be weird little glitches and things that we're just learning as we go, and we're kind of fumbling through it. And we're so grateful to be in this place of moving forward with this.
And it's true for me. I mean, just in life in general. I mean, for me, it's kind of like I can kind of compare this to my well-being for health and wellness as well. Is I never like to. I haven't found a connection for my health, right? That feels really easy until recently, and we've talked about this before, and a workout, and just not even, it's not about losing weight, it's not a resolution to change my weight loss or do something like that for the new year. It's about a holistic approach to living, which includes my health, my wealth, my perspective on life. And so anything like that can create this like little self-doubt, when it's new or when it doesn't feel natural, going to a new gym or, putting yourself out there on social media like this, for example. But if we collaborate, and that's where, I find like our conversations are so helpful for me every time we talk, is the community, the collaboration. And the more we build on that, to share that I'm not alone in my thoughts around this, or, I'm not the only one that feels like I can't get out there and change my health or my weight or my physical well-being. Working out more is specifically what I'm talking about for myself. But when I have somebody or a team of people or group or community that I can talk to about that, it makes life easier. It makes it simpler. It makes it more fun. And that's what we need in our life. Being open-minded, but also integrating something that makes you feel good and takes away the fears and the anxiety and doing change and making change in your life, real impactful change, right? So.
And Shelly, I think that's a great example. And I think that sometimes, I think we can get hung up, myself as well, in trying to do it perfectly, right? Trying to stay to a certain schedule and it's just not how life, like nothing's going to get done if we wait until it's going to be done perfectly.
Right.
Like, let's just show up there. It's a very vulnerable thing to just show up every day. That's my commitment to myself this year. I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to push things forward that I'm working on, and I'm going to trust all the rest and all the learning process. And, I think that if we try too hard with that perfection part, it's a really common thing for women to feel that pressure. But if we do that, it's just going to keep us stuck. We're not going to be able to see outside of that perfection. And what if in the meantime, instead of doing it perfectly or, trying to thrive in the art of perfection, what if we played? What if we had fun? What if we invited people into the things that we just don't know how to master perfectly in that learning process? And that's what we want to do with our community. We want you guys to be able to show up exactly as you are in whatever gifting or imperfection that you have. And we want to be talking about that. We want to dig a little bit deeper this year because we have the space and time with what's going on in our lives and in our world. And it's so important to go there in community. And if you're working from home, if something is suspended in your life, if maybe you're not working, what a great time to really dig into the things that matter to you and to just show up every day and play a little or laugh a little or learn a little and not have to have it be perfect.
So, it's, I like that, how you kind of frame that for myself and for everybody that's listening. So for me, what I've found, since I've never really been on social media a lot, traditionally, and I've started doing it in the last year, obviously, kind of thanks to COVID, really, I've really put myself out there on social media more, but that's where I found the more that I interact there, I mean, you can get so overwhelmed by what's out there, right? I mean, so much talk. But when I really look at what we've talked about, which is that community and the people that I connect with who think like me, who have the same, desires, wants, wishes, or ideas around community and specific areas that I want to change in my life, that's when I really find those connections that help me take the everyday tasks or items that I want to change and build it into something fun, like you said, fun and lasting. And that's really what brought, I think, me to YouTube, is starting out that process last year, early on in the year, and exploring the social media world, and now coming to this YouTube. So it's a progression for me. And I got to tell you, you talk about having fun. Every time we get on and we get to record, it's fun. And I learn something and I feel like I'm moving forward in my own personal process. So that's another part where I was going to ask you, Kristyn, kind of how do you manage that? I mean, do you create lists? Do you create goals and, to live in the moment and really, work towards some of those things? I mean, how do you do that specifically?
Well, that's
Or
a great
teaching others. Yeah.
Right. And I think that it's so different for everybody. Some people will be list makers. Some people will be more intuitive with I wake up and kind of go with the flow of what the day is. I think I'm kind of in the middle of the two. And one thing that I'm practicing more and more in the last couple of years is the art of being present, being mindful and paying attention to my life and what's going on around me. Because when I do that, and meditation has been a great help with that, although it's a struggle all the time to just keep focused and to keep my mind present in that moment, to not thinking of all the other things going on in my life. But it's been a huge kind of boost for me to really go, like, the action becomes really clear when we're really paying attention to our lives. So I think being more focused, that's been a huge help for me. And sometimes I do make lists because it's just fun to cross something off. No matter what's on the list, it's always nice to have an easy win and to be able to cross something off of that list and feel like I really did something, But, one thing I would really encourage people to do too is to consider your relationship with failure and learning and what that looks like, because it does allow for more play and space in our lives. Because if we stick too much to a list or too much to a schedule, we're going to miss what's actually happening in our lives, right? I can make a schedule for the things I want to do on Sunday for the week, and I still need to have that presence of mind to be paying attention. So, what comes across my path that does feel out of the realm of what I thought I would be doing? Maybe it feels a little bit scary. Maybe it's a learning process. Maybe it's something that I just know could be something great if I learn it, but it's going to be really scary until I actually learn it. I think it's really important to, whether you're a journaler or you want to, you could vlog it for yourself and just talk about what that looks like to you, and take the power away from failure so that it becomes that learning experience. And I think that just creates so much more engagement, Shelly.
Do you think, as you work with people to help them, really, I would say transition themselves and think bigger and more purposeful about their lives in general, right? Do you find that that the fear, the self-talk, is what really stops people from moving forward with their wants or their dreams to change?
It's a great question. Yeah, actually, it's limiting beliefs, it's self-talk, it's the racing thoughts about why it won't work.
Mm-hmm.
Our brains are primed to primitively just find the corroborate our beliefs, I guess. Like that self-fulfilling prophecy, it's that confirmation bias. And if I have a certain belief about myself as it relates to stepping out into something new or learning something, then I'm going to find that over and over and over again in my life. And it will be a wall that kind of comes up until I sort of distinguish that belief that's leading to all that self-talk. So it's very core there. And some of this stuff is really stuff that's been around for a long time. And it might not even be your belief, but it's a belief that you've adopted subconsciously. So
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. The beliefs are such a big thing in taking action. And, I just finished a conference and it was incredible. It was amazing. I had the time of my life. I loved every second of it, was completely engaged in it. And then at the end of it, the last day, I sort of had this fear and doubt creep in. Is this going to be something I adopt into my life because I wanted to? Or is this going to be like the past? And I really needed to look at what that doubt was kind of telling me and realize, oh, that has nothing to do with today and the things that I've just learned and I'm going to be adopting. I have a choice every day, right? Regardless of those beliefs or that self-talk, we always have that choice. And I think being present in our lives reminds us of that.
That's really good advice. For me to be present and to get rid of the self-talk and what I'm trying to accomplish in my life is about really the journaling works really well for me, and just getting it out of my head. Like, get it out of my head, and maybe just doing some. I'm not super good at meditation, I'll be honest with you, but I do like deep breathing, because it's like, and that, I'm sure that's maybe considered a form of meditation, but just some quick deep breathing, and that really resets me. And for any of that self-talk that comes up, or I may not want to do this, or I may want to procrastinate on something for whatever reason, I just use that as a way to kind of get myself centered and back in the moment of what's important and what I'm focused on, or what I know I want to change in my life, or make, or learn about, or do differently. I mean, there's so many different ways to kind of position that, but it's taking deep breaths. So, that's another little idea that, again, I'm not a specialist in transformation of mindset, but, as we talk about, so what I do for a living is holistic planning and helping people really understand their money and have this relationship with money in a different and more robust and connected way, purposeful way, as we talk about. And so I'm really good at that. And that's what I've done for so long. But it's so relevant to everything else in our life. And that's really holistic believing. Holistic planning isn't just about planning with your money. It's holistic planning is the way you think here, the way you feel in your heart, and the way you live it, right? And so I always enjoy talking with you about it, because I learned these extra tips and reminded myself, and hopefully for those viewers out there, that whatever it is we're challenging ourselves to do this year, this week, this day, this month, whatever, there's just a few things to stay connected and to stay focused. Is some journaling about it. It's some breathing around it every day as you're taunted, or your little brain is saying, you can't do that, you don't have time for that, stick to the schedule. Stay fun and laugh, right? I love those ideas, and I really appreciate that time with you where we get to reconnect and think about that.
Same. And the breathing is a great one. And Shelly just kind of is leading in as well to our next topic, which is holistic well-being. So we're really excited to be with you guys. We really love these conversations. And as we learn all of this, just wait, give us 6 months and just wait and see what we do with these videos. We'll see what we learn. But I'm just grateful to be doing it with my friend Shelly, and I really value her message and the opportunity to be with you all. Please subscribe to our channel. Again, it's Abundantly Purposeful. Like this video, and feel free to forward this on to anyone who will benefit from these conversations or have something really fun to add. So thank you guys so much for your time. Again, it's Abundantly Purposeful. Hashtag Shelly. Hashtag Abundantly Purposeful.
Hashtag.
We're going to be all over social media. It's going to be really awful. No.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Again, have a great day, and we'll see you every Monday.
Thank you all. See you soon.